A very good evening and welcome to Primetime News. It's nice to have you joining with us this evening. I'm Mahina Bongzo.
Good evening, I'm Shayan Jirampati. We start off and look at tonight's headlines.
Opposition charges that the statements made by the Prime Minister over avant-garde are contradictory. Politburo member of the Frontline Socialists Party, Kumar Gunaratnam, arrested. Court allows CID to detain Pillayan until the 10th of December.
Take a look at those stories in detail now. Today is the final day of President Maithripala Sirisena's 4-day official visit to Thailand.
President Maithripala Sirisena paid an official visit to Thailand at the invitation of General Prayut Chan-o-cha, Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Thailand, and was granted an audience with HRH Princess Maha Chakri Sirindorn. During the meeting, the Crown Princess had stated that during her visits to the island, she was treated in a very cordial and hospitable manner. The President, who had thanked her for the invitation extended to him to visit Thailand, had invited the Crown Princess to visit Sri Lanka once again.
Chief Opposition Whip Parliamentarian Anurakumara Dissanayake made a startling revelation on avant-garde in Parliament today.
It could be witnessed over the recent past that there were interference from political figures on matters of officials investigating acts of corruption and fraud. This could be clearly seen in the investigation process over the floating armoury and vessels of avant-garde.
No MP could make a statement on a judicial process or an ongoing judicial investigation.
Yes, Honourable Speaker, I am aware that injustice will be caused to many. But this subject which I am discussing right now is not a subject which is being heard at court whatsoever.
That a B report does not necessarily mean that a matter is sub judice, and this is I concur with the Honourable Anurakumara Dissanayake.
84 6 මේකට අවුට් කළානික් සියලු දෙයක් සාකච්ඡා කිරීමට අවසර දෙන්න පුළුවන්.
මම උත්සාහ කරන්නම්.
In relation to the transactions of avant-garde, I will try my best not to mention the court nor the Justice Minister.
සඳහන් නොකර ඉන්න.
උසාවියේ තියෙන හින්දා ඒක යටත්ව මම අවසර දෙන්න ගරු මන්ත්‍රී.
තව අවශ්‍ය නම් ගරු කතානායකතුමනි ගාලු දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂ නායකයා ගැන කතා නොකර ඉන්න.
If needed, Honourable Speaker, I will refrain from speaking about the UNP organizer for the Galle district. We will not speak about the minister in charge of the police either. We could come to an agreement like that if need be. Instead of bringing those who engage in acts of corruption before the law, you have become their protectors. Honourable Speaker, I will not speak about the investigations on avant-garde, but members of the government interfered to protect its transactions. On 25 occasions, Avant-Garde Maritime Services Private Limited provided the Sirilia Savia with 3,080,000 rupees. They are not even being summoned for a statement at the very least. Officials are being sent to a location of their preference to obtain a statement. The Prime Minister is saying not a single weapon which was found at the floating armoury in Galle was given a licence from the government of Sri Lanka. Then the Prime Minister says again that the Attorney General has informed court that a case cannot be filed under the Firearms Act and the Explosives Ordinance. Either his first point should be right and his second wrong, or his second must be right and first must be wrong. Therefore, the statement made by the Prime Minister to this House on avant-garde is false. Nissanka Senadipati of avant-garde called us as well for a meeting. Minister Mangala Samaravira knows through whom they called. I will not mention his name for now. He said he wanted to meet us. We gave him a one-line answer. We have no reason to meet and nothing to say to Nissanka Senadipati. Whatever you have to say, go say it to the CID. While we give an answer like this, ministers go and meet him. Throw parties at night. Have you no shame? This is all we ask. You are just objects which could be easily bought for money, not humans.
නිකම් මුදල් වලට මිලදී ගත හැකි බහඬ මිනිස්සු නෙවෙයි. පොළට ගිහිල්ලා පොළ අවසන් වෙමින් එනකොට වේලිච්චි බටු ටික තොග ගන්නට විකුණනවා. තමුන්නාන්සලත් ඒ වගේ කුණු බහඬ වගේ මිකිනෙන මිනිස්සු.
That is a severe allegation made against the conduct of the Attorney General and Inspector General of Police, who are both responsible to this Parliament. So I propose that both these officials be summoned to Parliament and that they be inquired about their efficiency and progress, as Parliament is vested with that power. Because Parliament must summon those who could be summoned by the Parliament.
During the election campaign or just prior to that, the former president went to Kilinochchi and distributed gold jewelry to people who he said were the owners of that gold jewelry. Now this gold was taken into custody at the end of the war. In 2009, what was the president doing with that gold, the former president, doing with that gold jewelry for 5 years or 6 years? It obviously was in his custody for him to be able to go and distribute. Did he give it to his wife to wear them for ceremonies? What happened to the balance? Where is it? Where is the balance gold? Choose to treat the CEO of Avantgarde this way, if you choose to treat the suspect in the Silreddy case in one way, where the information is one of offence against public property, if it's over 25,000 rupees, there's no bail. People languish in prison for years before they're able to show exceptional circumstances before getting bail. Here is a case of him being able to go to High Court directly and walk out as though he's just attended a party and going back home. I'm asking the question, why are the prisoners, why are the Tamil political prisoners treated differently? Is it because they are Tamils? We supported the change. We supported the change on several fronts. I'm concluding, sir. We supported the change on several fronts, also on anti-corruption. And if this is the way the government conducts itself, I'm afraid this government won't stand another year.
මම කිසිම දාක කිසිම දූෂණයකට සමාව දෙන්න කැමති පුද්ගලයෙක් නෙවෙයි.
I'm not a person who is in favor of pardoning any act of corruption or fraud. I took over a position under this government quite recently. Before this ministerial position that I hold now, I was a lawyer by profession. So I have provided legal advice to Mr. Senadipati, who is connected to this Avantgarde case as well. So when I was providing legal advice to him, I had no objections or was not subjected to immunity.
මට කිසිම අවහිරයක් හෝ කිසිම මුක්තියක් තිබුණේ නැහැ. ඔහුට එසේ මොකද මේ ජනවාරි මාසයේ මං කියන්න ඕනේ සේනාධිපති.
I must say that my client Senadipati has mentioned several facts to me which I possess with me as we speak, but I cannot disclose these facts because if I do, many here will be ashamed.
මං හිතන්නේ මුගක් අයට ලැජ්ජා හිතේ.
The disclosure of your personal involvement in the capacity as a lawyer advising a client, you can still speak, but as you yourself said, you can't disclose.
No, but then this is relevant to the issue.
A floating armoury which should be kept in international waters is being docked at the Galle harbour. The Sri Lankan Navy is unaware of it, and neither does the police. It was the OIC who went and lodged a complaint on it.
This vessel had been anchored at the Galle harbour since October 2014. It is quite astonishing if anyone is saying that they do not see this vessel.
You are the minister in charge of the police, aren't you? I possess the B report which the OIC presented to the Galle magistrate. So what he is saying that he does not even know that such a vessel was there. So he suspects that he is unaware for what purposes these weapons were used.
Every weapon in this vessel was subjected to an audit and it belongs to Rakna Lanka. We brought this vessel to the port as there was permission to bring in the vessel during high tides. We have the Defence Ministry document granting permission.
Do you mean to say that the vessel was anchored at the Galle harbour for 4 months due to high tides?
This is similar to the Millennium City raid carried out in 2002. The police went and carried out the raid in order to get some brownie points. These weapons are owned by the government.
දේශපාලකින් නිලධාරීන් ඩීල් කරුවන් කීප දෙනෙක් මේ රටේ මුළු සාරේ මුරාගෙන කනවා ජීවත් වෙන්න විදිහක් නැතුව අමාරුකම නිසා පොඩි හොරකමක් කරන ඒගොල්ලෝ එල්ලලක් දඬු කඳේ ගහනවා මාසලත් එකට යහනේ සතපෙන අය තමුන්නාසලා එළියට දානවා මේක තමුන්නාසලාගේ නීතිය.
In your developing story tonight, the students following the Higher National Diploma in Accountancy attended a meeting with the University Grants Commission today. Speaking after the discussion, the students said that the discussion with senior officials were not successful. The students continue to demand equal recognition for their diploma. However, the University Grants Commission said that today's talks were mainly aimed at understanding the situation. Now, convening a media briefing, several members of the opposition commented on the police charge on the university students and the security that were evident around the parliamentary premises yesterday.
These students are children of this country. Every one of us has the duty and responsibility to intervene in Parliament to ensure their safety and development. Speaker Chamal Rajapaksa decided to remove all security barricades around the Parliament. Under our government, Speaker Chamal Rajapaksa created a sense of complete freedom where anyone could enter Parliament by obtaining a permit to meet the parliamentarians and witness an ongoing debate in the chambers from the gallery. But what was the situation yesterday? A large police force was deployed at the entrance route to the Parliament. Even the commando regiment of the army was deployed. So what is this good governance?
හමුදාවේ කමාන්ඩෝ බලකායක් ගෙනල්ලා නවත්තගෙන තිබුණා. ඉතින් මොකද්ද මේ යහපාලනේ?
We condemn the conduct of the police on the protest by the university students, but the police would never act this firmly without the approval of the government. So the government of Ranil Wickremesinghe must be held accountable for this. In time to come, they will conveniently blame the police officials to fulfill their own interest. The police media spokesperson is saying, yes, they should have been assaulted and that the conduct of the police was right. He has stated further that the police can justify the assault on these students and that they used minimum force. The police media spokesperson is saying this because that is the stance of the government.
Minister S.B. Dissanayake was questioned on the allegations made that certain persons in the former government obstructed the process of resolving issues of the HNDA students. S.B. Dissanayake is the former Minister of Higher Education.
When I served as the Minister of Higher Education, I made the necessary provisions for all children enrolled for the diploma at the Institute of Advanced Technological Education to follow a special one-year course in order to complete their degree upon the completion of the diploma. I have no involvement with the circular in question. That is true. There were a number of views expressed on this matter. The cabinet also debated on this matter. However, it was approved. Let me tell you one thing. None of them who held placards yesterday uttered a word on that day.
The Unity Through Power Devolution movement convened a media briefing this afternoon.
There was no government back then. Back then was something where the siblings were in charge. Not only did they assault persons, they murdered persons. They killed students. There are no commissions to address those issues. Dinesh Gunawardena did not raise any placards on that matter. If you tell them that they will be given ministerial positions tomorrow, they will put down their placards. There are things that Vimal Veeravansa did when he was a minister. The government issue is that they never looked into those issues. Not only his passport, but the passports of the entire family are fake. He attempted to meet with the Tamil terrorists in Italy. Good governance means that the law is one to all citizens of the country. If the law was implemented back then, Vimal Veeravansa would not have come out without the intervention of the Prime Minister.
Welcome back. Politburo member of the Frontline Socialist Party, Kumar Gunaratnam, who was arrested by the police today, was remanded until the 18th of November. He was arrested while he was at his mother's residence in Angurwella, Kegol.
A statement from the police headquarters reads that Kumar Gunaratnam, also known as Noel Mudrike, was arrested at a house in the Anguruvalla area by the Kegor police based on a tip-off. The statement reads that the arrest took place at 1:40 this evening and he did not possess any documents to prove his identity. Moreover, the statement added that the Controller General of Immigration and Emigration had informed the Inspector General of Police that the suspect be arrested for the violation of immigration and emigration laws. The police are seeking advice from the officers of the Immigration and Emigration Department on steps to be taken with regard to Kumar Gunaratnam's case. Police have sought the advice from the Department of Immigration and Emigration on the future course of action that needs to be taken. Spokesperson for the Department of Immigration and Emigration, Lakshan De Silva, says that Kumar Gunaratnam, who is an Australian national, had arrived in Sri Lanka on a tourist visa and had remained in the island illegally. Lakshan De Silva also stated that the Controller General of Immigration and Emigration ordered the police to take measures to arrest Kumar Gunaratnam.
His mother is ill. The Kegol police had arrested him when he arrived at the house in Kegol to visit his sick mother. The police had not informed us about the wrong committed by him. Frontline Socialist Party will continue to fight for the right of Kumar Gunaratnam to remain in the country and engage in politics, and also will fight for the rights of many others. We will continue our struggle on this matter.
Court today ordered that former Chief Minister of the Eastern Province, Sivanesuthurai Chandrakanthan, alias Pillayan, be detained further under detention orders until the 10th of December.
The Chief Minister, who was arrested and kept under a detention order on suspicion over the killing of former parliamentarian Joseph Parajasingham, was produced before the Colombo Fort Chief Magistrate by the Criminal Investigations Department. Officials from the CID informed court that investigations will be carried out to ascertain whether the suspect is attempting to resurrect the LTT.
The joint opposition is a topic that is spoken at various forums at present. Here are some of the views that were expressed on the matter today.
What we have today is an artificial or fake opposition. This is being done through the Memorandum of Understanding. Through these MOUs, they obtain official positions in the government. They obtain ministerial positions. This has been designed and is being spearheaded by the government. When the opposition leader brings up a question, the chief opposition whip, who holds a grand total of 6 seats in the entire world, like the sidekick, presents questions according to the tunes or the treatment given to him. Then the Prime Minister also gives a response along the same tune. Then everyone goes home happy. Parliamentarians are those who stand for the people. Our group has a large number of voters than the opposition leader and Anura Kumara Dissanayake, who represents the JVP, have.
විශාල ප්‍රමාණයක් ඡන්දදායක නියෝජනය කරන්නේ අපේ කණ්ඩායමයි ඒකාබද්ධ විපක්ෂයයි.
අපේ පක්ෂයෙන් ඒ වගේම එක්සත් ජනතා නිදහස් සන්ධානය.
His Excellency the President Maithripala Sirisena, as the leader of the SLFP and the UPFA, has allowed certain members of the SLFP as well as the UPFA to function in the opposition. From the way I see it, it is these persons who are screaming about a joint opposition. So apart from that, there is no such opposition officially which the Parliament is aware of.
Welcome back to the news. The convener of the National Movement for a Just Society, Venerable Maduluave Sobitha, is currently receiving treatment at a hospital in Singapore. The Venerable Thero underwent a heart surgery recently. A communique issued by the President's Media Division says that Venerable Maduluave Sobitha was taken to Singapore under the directives of the President. The Venerable Thero was flown to Singapore while receiving treatment at a private hospital in Sri Lanka.
Chief Minister of the Northern Province, C.V. Vigneswaran, expressed the following views at an event held in Jaffna.
When you are travelling on the road and if one comes and attempts to detain you citing that you are a tiger, lion or a bear, and if you are put behind bars, there needs to be evidence to prove those claims. It is the Attorney General that needs to be held accountable for not filing any case against them. The reason why they delayed it was that they had no evidence. Now they are trying to find the evidence. Cases can be filed only after gathering the evidence. The decision needs to be made politically. I reject the claims made by Minister of Justice Vijay Dasarajapaksa stating that the Aegis Department needs to take a decision on this. The President and the Prime Minister should step in and find a solution to this.
Investigations have commenced into the death of 3 cadets of the Sri Lanka Army who died of electrocution after a high-tension power cable fell on them in Ginthota, Galle.
The high-tension power cable had collapsed on a van in which the cadet officers of the Sri Lanka Army were engaging in driving lessons last evening. 7 officers were taking part in the driving lessons conducted by the bus army camp, while 3 of them lost their lives in the incident. The magisterial inquest into the bodies of 3 cadet officers was conducted today at the Karapitiya Teaching Hospital. 25-year-old Geeth Hemal Nanayakara, a resident of the Madavatta area in Dangedara, Galle. 23-year-old Anusha Bandara Chandrasekara of Lahala Inguruvatta in Mavatagama, and 35-year-old Ranjit Pushpakumara, a resident of Konvava in Mahava, and a father of 1, died in the accident. The electricity cable with a capacity of 11,000 volts, which collapsed yesterday, belonged to the Lanka Electricity Company Private Limited.
Our engineers and technical experts who conducted investigations at the location in the immediate aftermath of the event stated that a squirrel had died there. We suspect this could be the root cause for the incident.
The main thing that to avoid this type of thing, normally we have seen sometimes when these high tension wires are connected to the poles, at that junction sometimes you might have seen sparks popping out. The sparks are coming because of sometimes the insulating connections gets weaker, or maybe due to some small animals like squirrels going through. You can see that there are sparks coming out. So when there are sparks, because of the heat, the wire gets damaged. The diameter of the wire becomes thinner.
Why didn't the collapse of the electricity cable not cause a disruption in the system?
So normally I think CEB, they have these trips at the substations or the stations, because they can't have trips everywhere. I mean, that is not economical and it's not feasible also. So I don't know the distance from the substations to the pole. So even though we have high technology, in this type of high voltage, because of this, not like 20 volts, 100 volts, no. It's very high voltage. So when the high voltage is there, the power or the power is very high. So as soon as you ground it, I mean without any time, it gets grounded. So therefore the trip will function only after some time. So I think it's very difficult to control this type of situation.
It is quite unnatural for the electricity supply not to be disrupted when the cable collapsed. I have instructed the Secretary to the Ministry to gather a few independent and knowledgeable individuals and to conduct an investigation.
BJP Member of Parliament for the Rajya Sabha, Tarun Vijay, called on the Minister of Rehabilitation and Resettlement today.
The meeting took place at the Ministry of Rehabilitation and Resettlement today. The event was organised to request the Sri Lankan government to introduce several verses of the Tirukkural into the Sri Lankan curriculum.
Tirukkural is universal. It goes beyond the boundaries of ideologies, religion, caste, creed and parochialism. It is for humanity. And if Tiruvalluvar and Tirukkural are introduced in a more vigorous way, it will strengthen the feeling of peace and progress amongst the people of all sections in Sri Lanka. It is my firm belief that the Tamil people have shown world over. They have, wherever they have gone, they have left a mark of friendship, compassion and brilliance.
As politicians, there are a number of issues that have been brought forward in today's country, but so therefore the spreading of Tiruvalluvar is perfectly today, in today's century, that it should be accepted only as if your mind is accepting it, please accept it. So this is a divine book. It's a book that has been written by Tiruvalluvar in maybe about 2000 years ago, and he has been a great saint really, for him to have given this variety of thoughts to the public of Sri Lanka as well as public of India and to the whole world as such. And it has been translated in many languages.
In business news tonight, a seminar on taxation organized by the Sri Lanka branch of the International Fiscal Association took place in Colombo.
A democratically elected government have to respond between the wishes and the aspirations and the practical limitations. Because today the biggest problem is not that the people are not paying. The people who afford to pay are the guys who are not paying. And I give a wake-up call for them. The poor innocent people at indirect taxation level and who cannot tax plan themselves out are squeezed to almost death. But the people who enjoy a more comfortable, cushy, luxurious life avoid what they have got to pay back to society. We are going to reduce taxes, ensure the compounds are higher, and if anybody skips that, he'll not be in normal society. That probability of expecting to be outside the normal system will not be there. That probability will be very fixed. If you don't pay, you'll be where you have got to be.
Sri Lanka has risen from 62nd to 61st in Legatum Prosperity Index 2015 out of 142 countries in overall Prosperity Index. The island nation was ranked at 62nd position in the 2014 index.
The Legatum Institute is an international think tank and educational charity focused on promoting prosperity and ranks 142 countries across 8 categories: economy, entrepreneurship and opportunity, governance, education, health, safety and security, personal freedom and social capital. Sri Lanka is ranked 65th in economy, 85th in entrepreneurship and opportunity, 58th and 59th in governance and education respectively. In health, Sri Lanka is at 77th, safety and security at 113th, personal freedom is at 43rd, while social capital is at 32nd. Sri Lanka is overall ranked at 61st in the Legatum Prosperity Index. For the 7th year running, Norway is the most prosperous country in the world. Switzerland is ranked 2nd in the index for the 3rd year in a row, while Denmark has risen from 4th to 3rd compared to last year. According to the index, Indonesia has performed better than any country in the world over the past 7 years, rising 21 places up the rankings to 69th this year. India has claimed 99th position from 102nd in the index. Surprisingly, as per the report, United States, which is ranked 11th, is in an increasingly dangerous place, with it going out from the list of top 30 countries in the sub-indices of safety and security.
Well, with that, we conclude today's edition of Primetime News. I'm Mahina Bongzo.
And I'm Shahan Jarampati. Good night.